All right, so we are on linear inequalities day 2. So yesterday we spent some time refreshing how to graph lines and then how to determine which side to shade when we're talking about a linear inequality, because we're going to have one side that is true and one side that is false. Okay, one side is true and one side is false. And using a test point is always a good way to do that, but it's also important to think about, are you above the line because you're greater, or are you below the line because you're less than? Because that's probably the easier way to kind of think about this. Okay, so let's go ahead and on our notes, make sure you found this problem, and let's go ahead and start figuring out how to graph it. So obviously when I look at this, I see that this is not ready to graph. I need to have y equals before I can do anything. I need to have y equals mx plus b because I have to have a line. So if I start graphing this, okay, I got to solve for y. So let's start solving for y. So 7y plus 42, 21x plus 4. Okay, so I need to move the 42 and I need to move the 7. So I'm going to subtract 42. 7y at 21x, and negative 42 plus 4 is going to be a negative 38. And now I am dividing by 7. So y less than 3x, and I need that decimal. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my calculator here. So negative 38 divided by 7 is going to give me negative 5.4. Okay, so now let's see if we can graph this. So first of all, I need to decide, is it an open line or a closed line? Well, I see that that should be an open circle, so I know that I need to be using that type of line. So negative 5.4 is going to be down here, a little bit more than negative 5. And then I'm going to be going up 3. So remember, this is 3 and 1. So 1, 2, 3, and over 1. 1, 2, 3, and over 1. I'm going to go again. 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And I know this is a dashed line. Okay, so I'm going to dash a line between those points. Okay, so now, am I going to shade up or am I going to shade down? Well, what does this say? It says y is less than. Okay, so I am right here on my line. Where's less than? Is it up or is it down? Is it this way or is it this way? Well, less than means shade down. Okay, less than means shade down. So I am shading below the line. That means these are the solutions. So anything in here is going to be true. And everything up here is going to be false. Okay? Everything above the line is false. Everything below the line is true. So here's kind of your piece. If it's pointing to the left, that's less than. You're going to shade down. Okay? If you see greater than in any form, you're going to shade up. Okay? So up versus down. All right, let's look at this one. So again, solving for y. So why don't you go ahead and hit pause, see if you can get this solved for y, and start graphing it, and I will catch up with you. All right, let's see how you did. So minus 3x. So negative 2y less than negative 3x plus 10. Divide by negative 2. Okay, I'm dividing by a negative, so I know I have to flip that. So this sign flipped. Negative 3, negative 2, that's going to be 3 halves. And 10 divided by negative 2, that's negative 5. So hopefully you've got your m and your b, and you realize that this is going to be an open line. So hit pause if you haven't already and get this line graphed. So negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And I have a dashed line again. Okay, are you shading up or down? Well, this is pointing to the right. It means it's a greater. That means I am shading up. I'm shading up, so I am going above the line. You're shading up. So this side is going to be true, and this side is going to be false. So nothing on that bottom side would be greater than -5, but everything on the left side is going to be greater than -5. So remember, if I take 0, 0, and I put 0, 0 in here, I have 0 greater than 3/2 0 minus 5. That goes away. 0 greater than -5. That is true. That's why everything above that line works. Okay, now I want you to work backwards, and I'm going to give you the inequality, the linear inequality. I want you to come up with your slope and your intercept, and then write the inequality. Okay, write the inequality. So remember, I have these two, which are going to shade up, and I have these two, which are going to shade down. Okay? So we're going to have to make use of those. So let's go ahead, and I'll help you with this first one, then I want you to try the second one. So I see my B. That's right there. So there's -4, or -5. And then I'm looking for slope. So looks to me like there's a good point right here. So here's my slope triangle. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going up, so that's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is 3 over 5. So I have y, 3 over 5x minus 5. Okay, I've got to figure out what's going to go in that box. So the first thing I see is that this is closed. Okay, so that means I'm either using this one or this one. I have to have the open line. So am I shading above the line or am I shading below the line? Am I shaded up or am I shaded down? Well, you're shaded down. This is down. So since it's down, I know I have to be less than or equal to. It has to be this one. Okay, so hit pause. See what you can do with the next one. Okay, let's see how you did. So I see that I have a triangle right here, and I'm seeing my b's at -5 again. So I went down 2, so that's -2, and over 2. So -2 over 2 gives me a slope of -1. So I have y -1x minus 5. And I can do -1 over 1 or just -1. And what's going to go in my spot? Well, this is open. So that tells me I have to either be greater than or less than. So are you above the circle or above the line, or are you below the line? This one is up because it's above. Okay, you shaded up. So since it's up, it's going to be greater than. So greater than instead of less than. All right, so that wraps, well, I've got one more to do. So why don't you take a minute, and this is a matching. So I want you to figure out which inequality goes where. Which inequality goes where? Or if there isn't a match at all, tell me. Okay, let's see how we did. So in this case, I see that this is -5. So I know it has to be either the gray, I know it has to be either this one or this one. Okay, now I can find my slope pretty easily because I see that there's a point here. So there's a 2 and a 1. So my slope is 2 over 1. But these are both slopes over 2 over 1. The question is it going to be the purple one that's pointing to the left, so that's less than, or is it going to be greater than? Well, this is above or up. And I know that if it's above or up, it has to be greater than. So this one is the gray one. Okay, so now this one has two options. And maybe there's not one that works. We'll have to find out. So I see that they're both 5/3 x plus 5. So there really isn't any difference. I know that my slope is going to be 5/3 and my point's going to be 5. Let's just double check. That's a 5. And looks to me like here is our slope triangle. So that's 5 and 3. So that makes sense that we've got 5/3 x plus 5. Well, is it greater than 5/3 x plus 5? Is it less than 5/3 x plus 5? Or is it something else? Well, the first thing that I see is this is up. So I know it cannot be that one. But is it this one? Is it y is greater than 5/3 x plus 5? It is not. It is not that one. I need to have y is greater than or equal to 5/3 x plus 5. The difference is this is a closed line. Okay, that one is a closed line. So make sure that your signs are appropriate when you are trying to match up the inequality, the linear inequality, with what type of inequality sign it has in the answer. Okay? All right, that's it for today. Good luck on your practice. Make sure that you're asking questions because you got a quiz. And we are super close to finals at this point. So next piece will be moving into review for finals.